Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. In this video, I'm going to be putting forward my arguments for why I believe XRP can not only get to $10, but significantly past it. We're going to be covering why it is I think this. Not only are we going to look at the charts, and we're going to be mapping out something called Elliott wave theory, as Elliott wave theory is absolutely present in these charts. If we look at 2017, we're very much following a similar trajectory. Elliott wave theory, for those of you very quickly that don't know what it is, dictates that the markets move in a wave-like fashion that is consistent of 5 waves to the upside and 3 waves to the downside. And within those waves, you have smaller Elliott wave theory play out. So it kind of repeats on a smaller level within each move. So within your one wave, you'll have 5 waves that make that up, and then you'll have an ABC correction to your 2 wave, so on and so forth. And we're going to show you that that is absolutely present in the XRP chart. And I'm going to also be mapping out the 3 wave very, very briefly based on the kind of most pessimistic scenario, showing you that we will, in my opinion, get to that $10 plus XRP price prediction. Just to put things into perspective, a $10 XRP, and people seem to leave this out in regards to market cap, is around about $462.4 billion. So that is a huge market cap from where we are at now, but I absolutely believe that XRP could get to something like that. You guys know my belief if you've been following the channel for long enough. I think the overall crypto market is very, very undervalued at 1.3 trillion, and it's going to accrue trillions and trillions of dollars as this space grows in adoption and we start to build more financial infrastructure around it. So let's very first, just to show you that XRP does indeed follow this Elliott wave theory, quickly map out our Elliott wave theory for the prior cycle. We'll do that very, very quickly, and then we'll move on to the current day. And towards the end of the video, we're going to talk about some fundamental reasons why XRP is going to do so well. We know they're currently going through a lawsuit at the moment, which is, neither really here nor there. Essentially, to kind of update you very quickly, the lawsuit is against Ripple Labs, Brad and Chris. And ultimately isn't against XRP. They're not necessarily now saying that XRP is a security. What they are saying is that it was sold as a security by these individuals, and that's a big no-no in the eyes of the SEC. And I ultimately think this is going to go in not only XRP's favour and Ripple's favour, but the overall crypto space's failure, because it will really set XRP up for that mainstream adoption, as there will be regulatory clarity, which is largely lacking in the crypto space. So you can see here, guys, this is your 1 wave, this is your 2 wave, your 3 wave, your 4th wave, and then your 5th wave, which is your blow off top, followed by your A, B, C correction or something like that. This is just very rough, guys, but what I'm trying to do really is highlight that your Elliott wave theory is absolutely present here, guys. Because to me, it's so evident. I mean, it's evident in all markets that Elliott wave theory works out. You can see even within that, within your waves, you have your 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, 4 wave, 5th wave, before you then have your obviously ABC correction. You can see that you have the smaller Elliots within the bigger Elliott waves. Now let's look at today's current cycle, and we can actually go back. 2013 played out in a very similar way. Certainly if we drop it from a logarithmic, that looks like 2017. This is how XRP moves. These are the kind of movements that it makes. I want to point something out about our current move, and I ultimately believe that we are just going through a correction in the crypto space, and we are still in a bull market. There's a number of reasons, and by all means go and watch my other videos on it, why I believe this. But ultimately, I think that not only Bitcoin is going to recover, but the entire space largely led by Bitcoin. And in regards to XRP, this move here is essentially what we're seeing right now. And this is how XRP tends to work. It tends to absolutely spike up, fizzle out, and then correct. And ultimately, I think what you're going through right now is a 2 wave in your Elliott wave theory. We still have the 3rd, 4th, and 5th wave to come before this cycle is over. And if that is the case, and I am right, we're going to show you where perhaps your 3rd wave, in the worst case scenario, would perhaps take you. Now, when people draw out Elliott wave theory in regards to our current cycle, some people like to go from March 2020. Just because that was the kind of low point. I prefer to go from the start of the year, essentially. I think that ties in very nicely, and ultimately I think you've made a 1 wave and you're now in your 2 wave. How am I invalidated in this? Well, you go below your 1 wave. If your 2 wave drops below your 1 wave, your Elliott wave theory is absolutely invalidated. Now within that, guys, what you can see is you have your kind of smaller Elliott waves. 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, 4th wave, 5th wave, before you then enter your A, B, C correction. I know this is looking quite messy on the charts, but I hope you guys are following what I'm saying here. And what I'm really trying to do, and we'll change the colour of this to kind of make that evident, is show you that you have Elliott wave theory within Elliott wave theory, which would dictate that you are following this kind of market pattern, if you will. It's certainly in my opinion anyway. You guys might disagree. Let me know in the comments if you do. I know this is very kind of messy. It's very kind of rough, but what I'm really trying to do is show you that there's a lot of potential here. Now, once you finish this ABC correction, one thing that I want to do is talk to you about the Elliott wave theory and how it works and how waves work. Now, in the stock market, your third wave is traditionally your largest, your biggest move in terms of percentages. In the commodities market, however, it's your fifth wave. I actually think that it could play probably out either way between your third and your fifth wave, because and I'm more biased towards your third wave is going to be bigger than your fifth in regards to XRP perhaps. But the crypto market has tends to really sort of, things get a bit crazy and parabolic towards the end, which would indicate your fifth wave perhaps might be bigger. So what I want to do, so you've got your 1 and your 2 wave. Let's take off the smaller Elliott waves because it's getting very confusing now. So we think right now you're in an ABC correction that is not going to last very long. So we think you've made your 1 and 2 wave, potentially finish your 2 wave, and you're now going to go on to make your 3rd wave. Now, roughly where's your 3rd wave going to take you? Well, like I said, Elliott wave theory dictates that your 3rd wave is bigger than your 1st, but I want to just show you something. I want to use the 1st wave, which we know in regards to Elliott wave theory is going to be bigger than your 1st wave, and just add the percentage. So that's about 1140%. So 1,140%. Let's add that onto where we are today, ladies and gentlemen, and just see where that takes us. And bearing in mind, we know that our 3rd wave that I think we're entering is going to be bigger than our 1st. So this is probably the worst case scenario. I'm just doing this to kind of give you an idea of just how high this can go. So if we take 1140% and add it on, it takes you around about $6.72. That gives you an idea, guys, of just how far this thing can go before you then make your corrective move, before then continuing on in this cycle. So this thing could get really overextended, but the purpose of this video is really just to try and show you guys that absolutely XRP can get to $10. I mean, fundamentally, when you look at the fact that they're essentially revolutionizing a financial system that hasn't really changed for 140 years, and now everyone's kind of scrambling to keep up with it. The Bank of England, I reread about the Bank of England, they tested Ripple's cross-border payment technology a long time ago. They're very embedded in the system. If you look at some of the customers that they have, it includes the SBI Group, Bank of America, Santander. These guys have just got customers on top of customers. Some of the biggest banking institutes out there. SBI Group, I think, is the biggest banking institute, or certainly the biggest partner banking institute in Japan. They have some real strong fundamentals. Also, we spoke about this document on a number of occasions. This is the World Economic Forum, which has people like Christine Lagarde, the head of the European Central Bank, Larry Fink, the Carlyle Group, I think he is, and the BlackRock CEO, David Rubenstein, on their kind of board. And these guys actually mention XRP by name, and they've also brought out a kind of statement saying, look, we actually think that blockchain technology could disrupt, I think, $862 or $867 trillion industry. So when you look at the fact that we have a market cap of $1.3 trillion, we've got a long way to go. Everyone seems to be quite fearful and worried at the moment. I'm the opposite, guys. I am taking this for what I believe it is. It's a buying opportunity. I think this, in regards to Bitcoin and the overall market turning, this to me looks like a bottoming out structure rather than your kind of marginally higher highs. Marginally lower lows are usually a very bullish thing, because it kind of signals a trend reversal, or the early signs of one at least. Marginally higher highs are usually quite bearish because it really shows that momentum is running out. And if you look at how Bitcoin's bottomed out traditionally, you can see these marginally lower lows are absolutely present. So I thought this was just an important video. I actually I found myself buying XRP for the first time in a long time, because I was accumulating throughout this bear market and very happy with my position. But I thought, you know what, there's such a value proposition here with just how far it can go. You know, I think the SEC lawsuit essentially is going to get thrown out, or certainly work in Ripple and inevitably XRP's favour, due to the fact that XRP is absolutely not a security. That is so obvious. The whole lawsuit was never about XRP necessarily being a security, but more about it being sold as a security by the individuals that are being sued. Chris Larson, Brad Garlinghouse, and Ripple Labs as a company. So I'm very bullish. I think there's a lot of things. We're getting lots of signs of people coming in and kind of buying this dip up. Another thing I want to point out, and when we said this was our first wave here in the first cycle, and this is our first wave that we're going through, we're now currently in our kind of second wave pullback. We can definitely see an ABC correction, or I certainly can anyway. However you want to draw it, whether you want to draw it like that, or like that, or like that, or like this. You know, you can draw Elliott wave theory, you can really make it fit, but one thing that is apparent with whichever way you draw it, like a lot of people like to go from sort of March 2020, just because that's, you know, really the absolute low. Whatever way you want to, but one thing that I'm getting way off topic. One thing I want to point out, guys, is that, you know, this first wave happened around about the same time through kind of March, April, May is when you started your second. Look at this, March, April, and May, guys, is when we're going through this. So it's following 2017 trajectory very, very nicely, and we're exceptionally bullish. Like I say, to enable real-time cross-border payments is not only good for the flow of money. You know, the forex market, I think, does like $7 trillion a day, and that is essentially just exchanging foreign currencies. So there's a huge market here, not just the remittance market, you know, the whole sort of it building infrastructure of the banking sector and moving money around in that way. The remittance market's $500 billion a year in terms of volume. That goes largely to a very small number of people, and is taken out on the poorest people, because people like me in the West, and, you know, the kind of Western world, usually they will have a kind of financial history, they'll have a bank account, they'd have paid for the kind of privilege in some way, usually not knowing how they paid for it, but you have paid for it whether you like it or not. Whereas people that perhaps want to send money back home, migrant workers, essentially it's very expensive for them to do so. Remittances can cost up to 15%, and that goes straight to the banks, and all they're doing is facilitating a system that's been here for 140 years now to go from one place to another. XRP would be instant. I've sent XRP transactions, I think the most it took was a couple of seconds. You know, no more than sort of 10, 15, 20 seconds for me to receive it. It's very, very fast, very efficient, and very cheap, very low energy use. Lots of good things going for this project. Lots of people were asking me to cover XRP, asking my thoughts on it, and you have them here. I think XRP is absolutely going to go over your $10 mark and beyond. Lots of people calling for an XRP in the $20 to $30 range, and I think that is within the realms of possibility, but a lot has to happen for that to, you know, I think a $10 price prediction is I'm fairly confident on that, and hopefully after watching this video you can go away, do your own research, and maybe come up with a similar hypothesis. So that is all I have for you in this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. Go and have a little look at Elliott wave theory, and just play around with it in different markets. It doesn't have to be the crypto market. You'll see that it plays out, and you can kind of map out your Elliott waves yourself. Like I say, lots of people map it out differently and like to sort of start from March 2020 as it's a low point. I think the start of the year, certainly you could have done that back here as well, is a good kind of point, because you're really still consolidating in this period. You know, you're in a bear market and you're just in consolidation and a kind of reaccumulation phase, and I think the bull market really starts here, and that's when your Elliott wave theory comes into play. And, you know, there's definitely an ABC correction, or that's certainly what it looks like to me going on. So that is all I have for you in this video, guys. We've rambled on enough. Go and check out, you know, there's so much going for this project. So yeah, all I have for you guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you enjoyed the content, a like is always appreciated, so is a comment, and get subscribed to one of the fastest growing YouTube channels out there, guys, because we're bringing you daily content on a variety of different cryptos. I will see you all in the next YouTube video. Have a fantastic Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Goodbye.